interesting stuff going on. Did you get an invite to the Tesla Robotaxi launch in Austin?
Yeah, they invite me every year.
Okay. Yeah. So I got an email saying I was not invited. I was not invited to the early access of Tesla Robotaxi.
Yeah, in Austin, right?
Yeah, so there's actually another app that they sent out on iOS test pilot that
they did.
They did, yeah. So people that got invited had the Robotaxi app, and they could call it within like a geofenced area of Austin.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it seemed to go, they're all influencers that are like, big Tesla fans. They didn't invite like, auto journalists or anything like that. So, I mean,
Or the guys burning down dealerships, not those guys.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't invite just anybody, but no, it seemed to go pretty well. And I mean, we both tried the latest self FSD, right? You got the demo too.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to run it. I got to run it for 2 months. I think you ran it for even longer, right, or something.
Yeah, they gave it to me a couple times, because I have the new hardware 4 vehicle. So, and it got even better. Like it's very, very smooth. Like, and do I 100% trust it? No, but they still have like a safety rider in the passenger seat with their finger on the Robotaxis right now, right?
Yeah.
They'll probably have it like that for a year. They'll have somebody riding along, even though the car's driving itself. And they have the door button set up as a stop. So if the safety rider hits it, it'll like stop the car or pull it over.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so there's a couple of interesting things, but that rear display really comes into use now, right? Because you can see like your ride progress. You can pick like audio apps on there. So that's why they put it in
the video screen and the backs for the back seat.
The back seat screen, yeah, that's why they put it in there. So seems to be going pretty smooth. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. When does that start?
Well, it was this week. It's still running, but only for like limited people. I don't know when they're going to open it up to more people. I think there's only 10 the Model Y is running as a Robotaxi in Austin. But I'm sure they'll expand it, and they're going to do like their first delivery where the vehicle drives from the factory to the person's house that bought it. So that's the next thing they're going to do this month, I guess. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And then we also heard, that the new Rivian quad motor is launching soon. Like it's still under embargo, but we're hearing that like the tank turn's coming back. I'm putting up a video now. Like when they first released the quad motor Rivian, they showed that it could be like it could spin on its own axis using the 4 motors. I put watch this video I have up there. It's pretty good. So it came out that you can spin this thing around, but then people were like, you're gonna rip the trails up and cause all kinds of damage,
you have to send me that link though.
Okay, I'll send it to you. So yeah, I mean, it's very cool. It spins around now. Since then, a couple like Mercedes and I think a few Chinese manufacturers have doing it. Some of them even do it on the pavement. Like they can spin the car on the pavement to get it into a parking spot or something.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So I guess they're bringing it back. They're going to call it something different for the new Gen 2 quad motor. And it's going to probably, be a lot lighter. It's not going to rip up the dirt as much. We'll see what happens. But it is cool they're bringing it back. I'll definitely try that out if they put it back on the Gen 1 quad motor. So that's pretty cool. So, okay, over to the Wi-Fi and networking side. So I want to talk a little bit about the cloud switches, like the troubleshooting tools in there. Like we still have some customers that they're buying the Wi-Fi access points, but they're using like the cheapest switch they can find, right? Not non-managed switch. And they're like, I'm happy with that one. Yeah. And I keep telling people that the cloud switches, they're priced very competitively, right?
I would say our pricing on switches is very aggressive, actually.
Very aggressive.
When you look at the competitors and what they're offering versus us, We're
Yeah.
priced really, really well.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can get a full power 8-port switch for under $200, right? Like, my price. I'm not going to say what that is, but so yeah, you can get a full power, and that has a 5-year warranty and free cloud management, right?
Yep.
So and with that, it gives you like some really good troubleshooting tools. Like we were just talking about my network. I have one cable run. I have 3 of these switches in my network, and one going from my garage to the basement.
Yeah.
Like I have a Cat 5e cable that I terminated. That's not so great. So I'm gonna run a Cat 6a across there, and then I'll be able to link it at 2.5 or 10 gig easily. But we ran the cable test. I'm showing that right now this morning. And if you just hover over one of the ports that you're having a problem with, it's going to show if you have any CRC errors, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're. It's not the cable test; it's the port.
Oh yeah, the port.
Right?
Yeah, the port. What's it called? Port diagnostics.
Port diagnostics, port statistics.
Yeah. So and you've used that before, that CRC error, right? Like you've been able to like troubleshoot people's.
Yeah, I actually used it at our office, and I used it with a customer, and you could see. Yeah, I mean, it will even tell you if the if the Ethernet cable is all the way pushed in, like if it's not clicked in,
Yeah.
it will you'll see CRC errors.
Oh, so the
In
one
some
that wasn't
cases,
pushed in all the way, you're seeing the errors on, and then there
yeah,
is a cable test feature. But the other good thing about the Ingenious Cloud is the topology view, right? You can just hover on a link and see like what that link speed is, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
on
You
this
can indicate that
cable,
by color or hover over it. Yeah,
the color. So on this cable run, these are 2.5 gig switches, but it's linked at 1 gig, right? So that right there tells you there's an issue.
right.
That it's only able to link at 1 gig using auto.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good troubleshooting tools in these switches. So if you're having any problems, don't hesitate to try them out.
Yeah, and I was just at High Tech, which is a hospitality industry show, and
Yeah,
Broadband Community Summit, which is an MDU show, and those are the tools that I kind of talked about during talking with different attendees, because
yeah,
that's something that's really important for them, right? To understand like if the cable's connected correctly, or there's continuity in the cable, or if there's a problem, because they can have somebody just swap out the cables, and they can do this remotely. And some of these things that you're talking about, you can do from the Cloud to Go app. So you can do it from an app or from the actual cloud portal. The topology view, that's something in the cloud portal, but like the CRC errors and the port statistics, you can do from the app. So there's a lot of great tools there for that.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, ask us about if you have any questions about the switches. We're selling tons of them. And then you also wanted to talk about the cameras, right? Like, so the new AI cameras.
Yeah, but before we talked about that, we just launched two switches, two small port switches, right?
Yeah.
That that are multi-gigabit. They're not PoE, but they're multi-gigabit. So if you're trying to get connectivity into like a resident, or just within a home, whatever you're trying to do, these switches are a really good choice, and they're priced very competitive. The 5 port is $99, I think, and then the 8 port is 169. But you have to check on that.
I'll
I'm
check
not
it
sure
out.
about the pricing,
And
but
they're all multi-gig?
they're both multi-gig, 5 port and 8 port,
Okay.
non PoE, and we see a big push towards multi-gigabit. So these switches become really important. And the one thing that this switch is used for is in the MDU space, in like multifamily student housing, or senior living, for example. Um, these switches work really well because a lot of times you're using like my PSK, and you have to pass like a lot of VLAN. So every user's on their own VLAN. And
Mhm.
so these switches actually do VLAN trunking, which is like just a method of carrying multiple VLANs over a single physical like link.
Mhm.
So that's one key thing for these particular switches that can be used in like these larger deployments. But just in general, I wanted to talk about those two switches that just launched. So check them
And
out
they're
because they're
also
very price competitive. What were
They're
you gonna
also
say?
a small form factor, right? Like you talking customers like that form factor.
They're metal and they're small form factor. A
Yeah.
lot of the feedback that we're getting from both the high tech show and the and the MDU show was the actual form factor, the size of it, and the feel that it's a metal housing. They like that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Form factor is a big thing within the hospitality industry and the MDU space because they need small form factors to be able to do like big jobs, right? So like multi gigabit is something that they need. So
And fanless also. Fanless.
also fanless, yeah.
Um,
Typically with no PoE, we go fanless. With PoE, we have fans, and that
yeah,
is to keep them cool.
for sure. So that's a good new switch. Anyone has need for those, let me know. I'll get you quotes out. Um, so and then about the AI cameras.
Yeah,
So
sorry. Yeah, so soon we'll be launching. So I'm sorry, I was going in a different direction.
soon.
I won't go in that direction. So
Okay.
yeah, they're available, right?
Yeah.
So they're now shipping. I think you have them already live and ready to
Yep.
go. The
I am up on
first
the website. Yep.
Yep, the first one that will be available will be the ECC 100. And that is a 5 megapixel camera, dome, IP67. I'm going based off of memory.
Yep.
299 price point, I think it is.
Hmm.
That's an MSRP price, not necessarily the price that you would get from Jeff, but that's a 299 price point. It's cloud. You don't need an NVR. This has onboard memory, so you have about 20 days of memory, so video that you can watch.
Hmm.
You don't have to have a license for the camera. So if you're within the network, you're on the same LAN, you can view playback as much as you want. If you want remote access, you get about 120 minutes. That's without the license. If you do buy the license, then you have full access, obviously on the same LAN and through the cloud. So yeah, they're available. We already have multiple customers that have purchased those cameras, and there's a lot of interest for those cameras because they're cloud managed. And then on top of that, we're adding an AI piece to that as well. And so there's some advancements around AI that we'll talk about at a later time. There's a press release that will go out for that.
Nice. So yeah, I put a picture of it up now. The ECC 100, the dome camera. I actually have this one. Um,
You're
in
running
my
that one right in your garage.
Yeah, I have one in my garage right now, and it's been working good. And the nice thing, it works through the Ingenious Cloud, um, but it also, to get all the AI features and timestamps and all that stuff, it works through the Ingenious Cloud. You can add it to the cloud just like it was any other access point or device. But then it also has support for third-party NVRs, right? It has RSTP streaming, so you can connect other third-party NVRs to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And then
Uh,
there's a couple things that will launch behind the camera launches, like the EVS system, which is the Ingenious Video Solution,
yep.
which will allow you to take legacy cameras and also add those into the cloud. On top of that, we'll add in the ability to do AI search through obviously our cameras that can already be done now, but also through the legacy cameras as well.
And you could probably host that device like anywhere, right? Like because it doesn't necessarily have to be local to the cameras, right?
Doesn't necessarily have to be. Oh, the MVS or the
Yeah.
EVS. Yeah, that's right.
So like if you had one back in the Ingenious corporate office, I could add one of my cameras to it. It wouldn't know the difference, right?
It wouldn't know the difference. I don't know. Yeah, it
See
wouldn't
how it
know the
works.
difference. It should be totally fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. I mean, you just add the feed in there; it's all going to feed back through the cloud. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. That might be good for like a multi-tenant situation, or when they have like multiple offices, right? And they can host that NVR back at. It's not an NVR. What's it called?
EVS.
EVS. Okay. Okay. Changing up the terms on me. So maybe they can host that in one central location and then run cameras remotely,
That's right.
which is
Yeah.
cool. All right, Brian, anything else you want to talk about today?
Oh yeah. So July 7th, I will be at the YCO event, which is in California, Pleasanton, California.
Okay.
We'll be giving out some Wi-Fi 7 access points, a new access point that hasn't launched yet.
Ooh.
It will be at the YCO event. It's, and like I said, in Pleasanton, California. So I will be there. And then we'll be headed over to the hospitality show in October. So
Oh, maybe I'll do that one with you guys. I heard that one's good.
I hope
Um,
so. I hope it will be good. So
you've been hitting a lot of shows this year, getting the word out.
yeah, for sure. We got a lot more coming too.
All right, guys. Remember, like and subscribe.